Welcome to this video tutorial for GUIEgg. I'll be introducing in this tutorial the GUIEgg animation system for the Unity game engine, and specifically I'll be looking at scaling and how traditional user interfaces can run into major problems, and a lot of apps do on the tablet or the pad compared to the phone. And what GUIEgg does to support the developer and making this real simple and being able to handle changes in resolution. So let's start off in a blank project here. All I've done is imported GUIEgg. This is the free version, so it runs in the free version GUIEgg, as well as Pro. And as I say, I've just imported the GUIEgg system. So I'm going to start off by going to Window and then to GUIEgg, and that will give us the palette for GUIEgg. I'm going to put this bottom right nice and out of the way so it's not popped up in our way. Okay, so let's start off with creating an image. If we go to the game view, we'll be able to see that image, and I'm going to just set some basic settings on this image. For instance, its size, let's make that 400, and its position, I'm just going to make that 50 from the edge. Okay, and finally, if we go into the tutorials textures folder of GUIEgg, we'll be able to get some texture to apply to that image. There we are. Okay, so here's our image, and we want to look at how GUIEgg can handle different resolutions. So to do this, I'm going to click play and drag this game window out so it's over the rest of the user interface. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to resize the interface, and you'll see that as I resize, that button gets bigger and smaller. Now that's just out of the box functionality. No requirement to do anything. The scaling, in fact, if I drag it right out, you'll see it will scale right up or right down, depending on the resolution that's given to the window. And that's dynamic, so it'll work in iOS, it'll work on Android. Okay, so how do we do that, and how do we customize the features? Because maybe, in this case, we've got the image here covering a quarter of the screen. Maybe we want it to cover the whole of the screen. And how do we get that to scale and work in that way? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this project running, put the game window back in line, and I'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to click on my image, and under the properties widget, expand screen, and there's an option here for the native resolution, and that's how large our whole window will be before we start stretching or shrinking the texture. So natively our texture is at 400 pixels wide and high, and with the border of 50, and let's say that board goes all the way round, that could make a 500 pixel image. So if we wanted the image to cover the whole screen, we could change this to 500 in both dimensions, and now our image would stretch or compress, skew to fit that direction. So if I click play here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag the game box out again, and you'll notice that as I stretch or minimize, maximize that view, reduce or expand that view, GUIEgg will do its best to fill that space. Now if it's really wide, then it will keep the whole of the image on the screen, and so it will just go to the shortest edge, understandably, and if we make that really narrow, we'll go to the other shortest edge. So whichever is the shortest, it will calculate to that edge, and if both are the same size, then it will work to them. So that's the expanding, shrinking, contracting screen sizes. There are a number of other features. For instance, if we put this back in line and stop playing, for instance, we're able to stop it stretching if we go over a certain size. It will hit its native size and just continue with that size. So it'll be happy anything above that it won't expand to. So that's one of its features. We can also control behavior if we go below that size as well. So it's quite dynamic. So you see it's not stretching to fill that window anymore. It's reached its size and it's not going to go any further. However, if it goes smaller, then it will shrink to meet that direction. And that happens for all the widgets dynamically. So we can have quite a complex user interface with menus and pie menus and the like. And that shrinking and contracting and moving will be done dynamically across the screen without the developer having to code that in. So it'll be quite, not just on its size but also on its placement. It's quite dynamic and provides a lot of the functionality that will save you time as a developer. So this has been a tutorial video for GUIEgg. You can get more information on GUIEgg.com and see the other videos that are there.